Broadcasting live from the city of brotherly love. You're listening to Philly Funk Radio.
You're listening to
You in the big leagues now.
PhillyFunkRadio.com, the funkiest radio on the web.
All right, everybody. All right, good evening, good evening. You are checking out Philly Funk Radio and Philly Funk Television, and we are broadcasting. We are here live on our Philly Live show tonight from our studios in West Philadelphia. And, of course, joining us, as always, is Mr. Van Stone, and we have other guests as well. Van, take it away.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to Philly Live. This is a special show today. I'm Van Stone, your host, the face behind the voice. Of course, you know me from radio, where you wouldn't get to see what I look like. And, of course, here we're doing podcasts, video, audio. And our listeners here, 200,000 strong. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on other network channels. And the broadcasting is just really enjoyable. I want to say my shout outs to our team. They're coming in. They're looking good. I see Warren Bloom, former mayor candidate. He's here on the show. We've got Harold Carter, my partner in crime, my businessman, my right-hand man from Philadelphia. Of course, we have Jerry Wilson, the brains to the outfit from the board. And I love that really studio background that he's in today. We also have two other people that will be joining us somewhere here and there. We have James from West Philly. He will be on the show, hopefully, if everything works out. This is someone that I grew up with. He is one of my best friends. We went to school together from kids, man. It's amazing. And we had the same teachers and so forth and so on. Middle school, we had a little separation in high school. But there's a great story. And by the way, he has a lot of experience in the field of professional wrestling, dealing with actually knowing the wrestlers and the stories and some security with the stories and things like that. So we want to talk about that a little bit. But last but not least is Skip Hard Rock Hamilton. He should be on the show, bouncing in somewhere all the way from California with us. He is the star that we know, marquee man, who just done Soul City Wrestling. And, to be black and own your own, actually, federation, and to deal with the ECW, the WWF, and all these guys out there, we're not going to blow them guys up. We're going to blow up Hard Rock, the heavyweight champion of black wrestling, Soul City Wrestling. So we're going to begin the show. I want to say, to our state listeners and viewers, Virginia, we love you. Of course, Pennsylvania, we're here in Philly, and of course, California. So we have a new thing, guys. This is Philly Live, but we're going to be doing Cali Live. Starting today, we are broadcasting live, especially California viewers and listeners. And the topic today is going to be, until we get those athletes on here and the entertainers on the show, we're going to go right into the current situation, which is the presidential election. So don't be scared. And by the way, I'm giving my shout out to Whitney Hickson as well. She is our queen right now. She's not here today. She may be listening, though. And, of course, she handles our Food Network and everything else. All right. So I'm throwing it back to you, Jerry. The topic is, we're talking about the presidential election. What do you think about what's happening right now with that?
So, by the way, I just want to throw in, you'll be happy to know Hard Rock is with us on the Zoom. I can see him right here in all his glory.
There you go.
And we have Whitney.
Go.
And we have Whitney Hickson. She just dropped out, but she'll come back in. So
Okay.
anyway, regarding the presidential election, me personally, if you want to use the word excited, I'm excited about Kamala Harris running. Not really happy with the vice presidential pick. I was hoping she would pick Shapiro, but they're saying Shapiro's best served in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Like he didn't really want to leave because he just got the job as governor. That he wanted to kind of stay here and he wanted to do good for the Commonwealth. And then maybe 4 years down the road he'll go for actual president. So, I don't know about you guys. Kamala, she has my vote. I'm going to vote for her in November. I know some people may disagree, but just look at the alternative. I'm sorry. So
Okay.
But,
that's all good.
yeah, and
That's
then,
all good.
And then the Republican vice presidential candidate, J.D. Vance, has basically been like stalking Harris, like following her everywhere she goes, including when she came to Pennsylvania on Tuesday. Like literally everywhere she goes, he goes. That's a little
Right.
odd behavior. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, let me say this, and then I'm gonna throw this really to the expert, which is Warren Bloom, who actually ran in a real powerful election here in Philadelphia. So he's got some things to say. But the tactic that J.D. Vance is using, he's taking it from the playbook of the late great Muhammad Ali. And so basically, that's a good sign for Kamala Harris, and of course the new mate that's running for vice president, Tim Walz. It's a good sign because at the time when Muhammad Ali was running behind the top candidate at the time, the heavyweight champion, I mean, he was really nervous and he felt like he had to do something to really get the support. Now, if you know boxing history, you know exactly who I'm talking about, who he was following around, Sonny Liston. So these tactics, depending on what's going on, may work. But in this case, it's definitely backwards with the Trump, campaign. These guys are just known for nothing but trouble. And they're saying that their motto is basically that they're weird. So, they're not going to change. They're just not going to change. And that's going to work well for the Democrats and for our future president, Kamala Harris. Now, Warren, what you got, man? Give us your view on this.
Well, I had the privilege of being at the Lear Core Center, which holds 10,200 people. And it was a great meeting. The energy was tremendous. Again, I was fortunate enough to get there early enough to get a good seat. I think, like Jerry was saying, with the alternatives, we have, Kamala brings a lot of energy. People are feeling it all over the country and the world. I don't put my faith, to be real, in politicians and electoral processes. Ultimately my faith in God. But when it comes down to civil law and authority, we have to respect and pray for our governmental leaders. Mm-hmm. And but I am at this moment supporting Ms. Harris, our vice president. I think she's ready for the job. She really brings, I think, the type of stability that this country needs right now. Everything point to the fact that it's the time of the women. Women to show up and show out and to lead in areas of government. So I'm very excited right now about the prospects that we have coming up in November.
Yeah, this is really, really the time of the woman, not just the year of the woman, but we've been saying that for a long time, the time of the woman, the year of the woman. And like I had said, as a political analyst, I told you guys already predicted early on, before all the changes had happened, that Trump was going to lose the election really bad. And now everything is just really just coming out on its own. The excitement, the natural feel, the people who want to be positive. And here's the thing. So we have the first Black woman who, has made some changes when it comes to politics. Number one, the first black woman. Let's look at her dress. Man, I'm just surprised that no one is commenting on the important things. Here's a black woman who's running for president, who's already the vice president, who already made history as the first black woman vice president. But nobody is actually commenting on her looks. It's very, very interesting. She presents herself with a, the jacket and pants outfit. And for women, that's very unique and very, very different. Her hair is always stylish and simple. And yet, I want to get you guys comment on that, because I just think that in itself, regardless if she was to win or lose, even though my prediction is she's going to win, it sets a wonderful example for black Americans, especially black women, when it comes to dress. Anybody got a comment on that?
Well, I did notice she dresses very professionally and very well. I was watching something earlier where she was at a gathering and she had on like all white. It looked really, really nice. And I'm actually surprised that the Republicans haven't commented on her looks, because, that's usually what they do. They tear down the Republicans. They always resort to basically racism. Just like they said she all of a sudden turned black, which by the way, the old, long time ago, the old racist adage was, if you got a drop of black blood in you, you're I can't say the N-word, but you know what I'm saying? So now they're trying to flip the script, where before, well, regardless, she's black. Now they want to say, oh, well, she's not. She's black. She's been black all her life, and she knows that.
Right.
So, the Republicans, that's the one thing about the Republicans where they keep messing up, is they can't abandon the racism. They can't, no matter what it is. That's their go-to, and I guess it always has worked for them, but I don't think it's going to work this time.
Okay. Well, let me say this, and I'm going to throw it to Harold just in case Harold want to make a point. I'm glad you brought that up about the drop of black blood. That is actually law. This is the bizarre thing. That's actually constitutional law. So it's like, You're talking about who is black. They have defined who black people are, and when they had the Supreme Court back then, when they were talking about who is black, they went to that and they defined that as this is what identifies a black person. So now in 2024, they want to try to flip it, but it makes no sense, and that's why Donald Trump has said he wants to destroy the Constitution. But Harold, what's your views on this?
Good evening, everybody. I agree with what Warren said and Jerry said and yourself. Just as far as her look, it's a business look. She looks professional. They said when you dress right, you feel right. This is what we're up against, and we always have to dress the part and do twice as better as our counterparts. And I think she's ready for the challenge. Like you said, it's a woman's movement right now. I'm excited, and I think the nation as a whole, and she's fighting for everybody in the nation. The nation as a whole is ready for this change and ready for this movement. So yeah, I'm excited.
All right. So what we're going to do before we take a break, I see that Skip Rock Hamilton is back. I don't know if his audio is working. Skip, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Okay, great. Wonderful. We were waiting for you. So the topic was talking about politics. We're going to switch up for a second. We're going to talk about professional wrestling. And of course, your expertise is not just professional wrestling, but community, family, and mentoring as well. I just like to, take this time to make an announcement about what we're doing with Soul City Mentoring, which is very powerful with Van Stone Productions and all of our organization structure for the community. We are glad to have you back. and you're doing things out there in Cali. You're doing it in a different way, and that's why we're doing Cali Live. So we're Philly Live and we're Cali Live. And as a celebrity, you're a star. You know, you actually out there with all these other people, movie stars, and so forth and so on. What's your take when it comes to mentoring and Soul City mentoring, and how you're going to really help out there? We're going to bring it here as well. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I want to clarify something, Vance, that you said black wrestling. No, Soul City Wrestling is not black wrestling. It's owned by a black man. It's the first African American. I'm the first owner of a black wrestling or of a wrestling federation ever in the United States. This was told to me by Alpha, one of the Wild Samoans who trained me up in Allentown, the Rocks people. And we work with all kids. We work with white kids, black kids, orange kids, yellow kids. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? We try to reach out. But I want to say, go Eagles! I got that Eagle hat on, and the kids are football fans, and I played briefly with the Philadelphia Eagles. I was with them twice under Marion Campbell and Buddy Ryan. I came back from Edmonton because the Eagles, Marion Campbell, subsidized my contract in Eskimo.
So, Hard Rock's mic is out right now. So, if you can hear us, Hard Rock, we're going to take this opportunity to take a break, and we'll come right back.
I debate all day. It's what I do. But there are some things that are undebatable, like your mental health. I was in a dark place when my brother passed away in a car accident. I was depressed in ways I never imagined. I reached out, and my sisters came, my pastor, my therapist. They helped me get through it. I found that the more I spoke up, the healthier my mind became. When you love your mind, you can go so much further. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org.
We come back in.
All right. So, we are back.
Oh,
hold on.
Okay. Thank you, Gary. All right. So we're
me.
back. For those who just joined us, this is Philly Live and Cali Live. And of course, I'm Van Stone, the face behind the voice. You're here with our cultural panel. Isn't that something? We got to use the new word. So we're here with, of course, Jerry Wilson. We're here with Carol Carter. We're here with Warren Bloom, formerly ran for mayor, City of Philadelphia. We're here with Skip Hard Rock Hamilton, professional wrestling, Philadelphia Eagle, and so much more accolades. And now I had already introduced my man. He's known as James from West Philly. So we're going to go with that. James from West Philly. He is a professional commentator. Background, I had already mentioned dealing with professional sports, and particularly we're talking about pro wrestling, a different background as well. We're going to just take a brief, if we got you there, James, because you have a history with myself growing up, in the schools here. Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, well, Sam, me and you, hello, everybody. Sam, me and you go back to the 60s in Fox School, which is still there and open, surprisingly. I'm glad it is.
Boy.
And it was from kindergarten to 6th grade. Me and Sam was normally in the same class. All those years, split up, moving to junior high school and high school. During that time, I was a heavy professional wrestling fan, still am. And the arena was just around the corner. But I got too many stories about wrestling to sit here and go on and on. But I just wanted to give a brief introduction to myself and how me and Sam grew up.
Right. Well, guess what? We want one of those stories. And the reason why is because you brought back a very important memory. And Philadelphia was a main marquee when we were kids for professional wrestling. And that location was called the Arena which was in between 46th and 45th and Market Street. Today, it's just known as Channel 12, which is unusual because the Channel 12 we know was down, somewhere downtown. And then the name changed again, so it's now known as the Enterprise Center. A lot of people don't know the true history, man. And we were kids, and we would sneak in to see those pro wrestling shows. Harold was one of them. He's right there. Gordon was one of them. He's right there. And Jerry, I'm sorry, Jerry. I think you missed that.
What?
So, James, tell us a story about, a little more about the pro wrestling part, because we're doing this special show on that, and we want to hear more about it.
I can give you one quick story. The wrestling there at the arena, they had TV tapings every 3 weeks on a Tuesday night. And it was free to get in if you had tickets. But if you didn't have a ticket, it would cost like 50 cents cash. So Tuesday nights, you remember Tuesdays, we got out early from school, like 2:15. And from there, I walked over to the arena. It was just magical to me as a kid because the marquee was all lit up. And I went into the side where the TV trucks were, and these big giant cables were propping the doors open. So I walk in, just by myself, nobody's around, and I see like all the wrestlers there at the ring. The bad guys on one side, the good guys on the other. Good guys are called faces, short for babyface. Bad guys are called heels. So they were on opposite sides of Vince McMahon, who was in the middle during the interviews. So I came in there and, like, as a kid, not knowing the business, it just like took me by surprise. And I was watching them go back and forth to the microphone, yelling about how they're going to kill each other, this, that, and the other. So then finally, somebody saw me and walked over to me and asked me to leave. That person that asked me to leave was Classy Freddie Blassie.
Wow.
A Hollywood fashion plate.
Wow.
That's just one of the many stories I got under my belt. From all the way back then till now, I got a lot to tell.
Okay, and I know you've done some professional commentating. I'm gonna bring it up to speed. Where there was a show that was really about wrestling. Can you kind of bring that out? And then we're going to bring in Soul City Wrestling and what was going on with Soul City Wrestling down there at the famous wrestling location, which was in South Philly. But before we go there, what was the program that you did your commentary on?
That was called Wrestling Radio. It was, I think, the late 80s, early 90s. The radio station was 610 WIP Sports Radio.
Okay.
On a Saturday morning. And they invited me to come in to do their trivia show once a month. And anybody that could stump me or anybody that could guess my trivia questions won free tickets to a wrestling show, either the Spectrum or the Civic Center.
Wow.
It's a big thing to stump me or guess my question, which was always hard. So they won tickets if they were able to.
Okay, let's tie that into that famous wrestling location that's in South Philly, where Soul City Wrestling had several years with Hard Rock Skip Hard Rock Hamilton. What can you tell us about that arena down there? Because you have the experience and a little bit with Hard Rock as well. Just tell us a little bit, whatever you want to share with us.
Yeah, well, I know Skip from Norristown, Pennsylvania, and the Carver Center, where he held some shows. And then I went to one or two shows of his down at 2300 Arena, formerly known as the ECW Arena. And before that, formerly known as the Bingo Hall, because that's what it was.
Okay.
World famous building now, thanks to pro wrestling.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, I met a superstar there during Skip's show. It was I'm sure he remembers Bunny Sigler.
Right.
You remember
off his own.
Bunny Sigler. It was my honor to meet him. Right before he passed. Obviously, he was with a cane, but he was looking really, really good.
Okay, that's really great. So Warren, that brought back some kind of memories. We got to bring you back. So not just famous wrestlers, but let me just bring this up. Here in West Philly, where we have our new center, the Vanstone Center, which is also the Warren Bloom Family Center. It's also the Soul City Mentoring Center. I mean, everybody who's doing professional things, I'm just really happy that they're lashing on to this collaboration. There's a famous music artist on this block. Can you bring that up again? A vocalist. What's that name of that vocalist that used to live on this block here, Warren?
Well, you were talking about Brendan the Tabulation. Brendan the Tabulation.
Tell us a little bit about that, because you're a vocalist as well. As we get close to the end of the show, I want to find out how much.
Well, let me just go back to what Skipper James was saying back in the pro wrestling days. During those tapings, the night they taped, that's when we would go there, and we would get it on the taping. So when we watch it Saturday, you could watch yourself on TV. At the arena. So we would love to do that. And we talked about, Bunny Sigler and people like that who are Philadelphia's own, Sound of Philadelphia, those type of things. And many of y'all know my brother wrote Double Dutch Bus, the Double Dutch Bus along with Frankie Smith. And you just took me back a while. But the breaking news is that it is confirmed that September 10th that Donald Trump will meet and debate with hers truly. So that was just the new breaking news I just saw.
Oh, that's good. Hey, Jerry, how much time we got left? And where are we?
I was actually about to interrupt y'all. So we're about to run out of time. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to do another break, and then we're going to come back and get everybody's final thoughts, and that'll be it for the day. So we will be right back momentarily. All right, and we are back, and we are closing the show. So I want to get everybody's final thoughts for the evening. Everybody, 1 minute or less, starting with Van.
Oh, no, I always go last. I don't know why you always do that. You know I go last. Harold, you're up. What you got, Harold? Last 30 seconds.
It was just good to hear some of the wrestling stories from the previous wrestlers and their experience and their connections. Back to the presidential race. 3 things: vote, vote, vote. Everybody get out and make sure you reach out to somebody and take somebody to the polls so we can get this thing done.
Sounds good. James from West Philly, you got 30 seconds. What's your final thought for the day?
Yeah, also, moving over to the presidential election and Kamala Harris, I am very, very, very excited. Things are finally looking up, and I think we're going to have a slam dunk this time.
Okay. And Warren Bloom, of course, we need to hear your final thoughts. What you got, Warren?
Yeah, if you can, guys, do everything you can to help people get registered. It's going to be very important that we try to register as many young people as we can. They're all excited about Kamala Harris, so try to get people registered to vote, and thank everybody, because when we vote, we win.
All right. So Jerry, I'm going to use my 30 seconds to ask a question.
Yes.
Of course, my son, Van Stone Jr. and his fantastic animation. I was asking that in the break. Is that going to follow after we close out? I hope.
As always.
Oh, all right, great. I can't leave my son out, guys. So, hey, pay attention to the show. This is Philly Live, Cali Live. We're here in West Philadelphia. We're live in California. And we've got all our new supporters. It's going to be really nice, guys. Stay with us to support the new center, and we will be back next week. Back to you, Jerry.
So I just got a couple of shout-outs to people that actually inspired me to do this show. Of course, you know Antoinette and David Keith, also known as what is his name? Mickey J.
Mickey J.
Yeah, I would like to give a shout out to them. They actually gave me the inspiration to start. The person that gave me the inspiration to not only start but continue also is one of my former co-workers for Urban Expressions. Her name is Shelly Williams, and she has her own social media, Shelly Shell. You could go in there. She has a lot of shows that she puts on. I think one is called Single on a Saturday Night, and she does a lot of stuff. I would also like to give shout outs to 2 more Urban Expressions alumni. The boss, my former boss, Mr. Ed Brunson, and of course, the station general manager and master control operator, Mr. Alan Box, who I still work with to this day. So, thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you next time.
All right.
All right.